we were good.
Solid team.
But the level at the World Cup, obviously, miles.
I don't even think it was the level. I think it was us. I think we were our own worst enemies there. But we'll get into that. If you want to have a comment on Banyana, please do so. Do they deserve a hero's welcome? I think they did exceptionally well. They broke boundaries. They started and they went to a place never before any South African team has been to, the last 16. But is it a hero's welcome worthy performance? I don't know. I wouldn't have said that. Then we'll get into the DStv Premiership. Kicked off this weekend. Hey, we're back.
We're back. Finally. There's so much drama.
Mamelodi Sundowns starting off with a victory over Sekhukhune. Then we got games on Saturday, games on Sunday. Let's get into all of it. Stellenbosch proving that they're going to be a force. Here's what I think. Somebody tweeted, and I've been trying to find that tweet and I can't. And if you listen to the show, please do quote me on this one. But this is for you. He tweeted and said, a lot of people are saying it's only the first game. That used to be great when the league was won on 43 points. But since Sundowns is winning it on such margins, you'll blink and there'll be 7 games ahead. So basically meaning now you can't afford to find your feet with the first 4 or 5 games. I don't know, first game, second game, let's find our feet. Because if you're going to use that 5 games to find your feet, they're going to have 15 points. While you're finding your feet, 4 or 5 points, they're going to have 15 points. And by halfway, they would have almost won the league again.
Yeah, such a solid team. Give them the league already.
Do you think it's that kind of season?
I think it's that kind of season again. Having looked at the...
I saw Gavin Hunt, Supersport. Young man on the winger there. What's his name?
Maybe not 16 points kind of a season. But the quality there, obviously too early to say whether it's a 2-horse race or 3-horse race, title race. But Mamelodi Sundowns, by far. I looked at over the weekend, some of the weekend newspapers previewing the start of the season. There's not a single journalist who's predicted another club winning the league. They're all saying Mamelodi Sundowns.
Even here on Friday, Podcast Fridays, everybody gave it to Mamelodi Sundowns with Supersport a close second there. But we're going to get into that. Brett Binder, he wants more than a third place finish. He finished third, of course, one of the best exports we have in South Africa. He's out in the MotoGP. We'll get into that. Rugby, Jacques Ninaba says discipline is going to be important. Of course, this was the last of the matches before he picks his final squad for the World Cup. And then netball, they did so well with the Spa Proteas, but they just came too short. That last game shouldn't have lost that to Uganda, but playing the way they did against New Zealand, playing the way that they did in this entire tournament, they can be proud of themselves. Australia winning the Netball World Cup. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, we begin with what a weekend it was. Exactly 16 after the hour 6. That's the weekend that was on the Mighty Metro FM at 18:45. Taking your calls on your sporting weekend, whatever it is that you want to share with us. Quiz my brothers that are here, the 3 not always so brave men sometimes, but you can definitely get in and give us a call on 086 000 2160. WhatsApp on 6060 552 7303. Let's start it off with Brett Binder. Speaking about, he wants more than a third place finish.
Well, we already saw on Friday. In the full dry, I was competitive. Every exit, I was able to go fast and be amongst the top there. So when I saw it was going to be dry today, I had a lot of confidence. And I wanted to go and put together a great result. And of course, third's good, but I wanted more, as always. And let's see what the next one brings.
Well, congratulations to Brad. They're always flying that South African flag high. Now let's go to rugby news, where Jacques Ninaba, after the match against Argentina away from home, speaks about discipline.
Sometimes you're going to concede penalties because you contest and you get it technically wrong, but it's the avoidable penalty, the tackle of the ball, the avoidable penalties that I feel, the non-roll away, which is all in your own control. I feel we have to limit that in terms of, I think the World Cup will be so close and so tight. I don't know what the world rankings look like, but any team can beat any team on any given day. So I think discipline will be a key issue going to the World Cup.
When they were here at home was 22-21, was a very close encounter away. The Springboks were able to do a lot better. Argentina could only put 13 on the board. South Africa putting 24 there. It's going to be a tough one selecting a squad that goes through to the World Cup here. Those injuries might come into play as well. Let's move on now to netball. The coach of the Proteas saying that, hey, listen, this is a summary of everything that went down. It must be said, there's a huge improvement with what the Spa Proteas did.
Congratulations to Uganda I mean, they kept possession of the ball. Unfortunately, we wasted too many. We weren't penetrating in the attack end in the first half, and you can't afford to lose those sort of balls. The game is possession, and that's where you win it. But yeah, they took it to us, and they deserved the win in the end.
And a big congratulations, of course, to Australia, who became the eventual winners on South African soil, the first World Cup on African soil as far as netball is concerned. And they walk away. They go back home where there is a World Cup that's being hosted, and they are the winners. Speaking on that World Cup, well, South Africa, they're making their way back. There's going to be an exchange of high fives in the air as Banyana come back with nothing, of course, as the other team, Australia here, go back the other side with the trophy. Exciting times for the Australians, although not doing so well in football. Let's go straight into it. This is Desiree Ellis speaking on the performance against Netherlands.
I think more disappointed. We felt we could have won this game, and if I look back, we should have with the opportunities that we had, but we didn't take them. And yes, I think very proud. I think as a group we need to hold our heads up high.
There's been a lot said about Kaylin Swart, the goalkeeper. Made a blunder that she probably won't forget for a long time. On the day where she was having the best game of the tournament, she saved Banyana's blushes more than twice in that match day. But that second goal, I'm pretty sure she'll look at that over and over. She'll see it in her head over and over. She'll never forget it. So this is the coach, Desiree Ellis, speaking about Kaylin Swart.
Look, obviously she played really well in letting in a goal. You know, it's going to upset any individual, or missing a sitter is going to upset any individual. But when we came in at halftime, we really were, you know, just patting her on the back. And at halftime, we said to her, even after the goal, like, chin up, you know, this happens in the game, chin up. But the professional that she is, she wants to have a perfect game, and nobody has a perfect game. And that's what we said. There's nowhere in the world where there's a perfect game. You're going to make a mistake, and unfortunately that happened, but she kept us in the game as well. And if you look at their goalkeeper getting the player of the match, it tells you how well we played.
Well, that's her analysis. I'd love to hear yours. Vic, I want to, before I go to the DStv Premiership, you looked at everything, Banyana. You saw the 4 games. Yeah. This was Desiree's summary of not only the tournament, but that match as well. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I felt the keeper should have been changed. That's my own view, because we're struggling with height. And people came with reasons. She has not, the other keeper has not been playing. But
that reason makes no sense to me. Yes, it's true.
Yes.
But then why even take her then?
No, playing. Let's look at the level of playing. World Cup and our level of amateur, which is Hollywood. But the level is too different. Here you need experience when you come to the World Cup. World Cup. You're playing against top. But if you say he's not playing game time, but he's got experience. If you can take me back to the field now, I can referee better than someone who's coming from ABC.
Marocco's last in 90 minutes.
Because the run, it's running with thinking. Baba matafela babona ba ramut. Naki bona ke le khole. Ke bona penalty ke le khole. They can't see. Bamot. Close. Experience.
I'm not going to get involved.
Not on that argument, but on the Banyana at the World Cup.
We should have done better. I'll be honest, my expectations were low. I looked at Sweden, I looked at Italy and Argentina. I always thought we probably wouldn't get out of the group, but after I saw Sweden thump Italy in the way that they did, I thought we would get through. But as soon as we were drawn against Netherlands in the last 16, I mean, they were, you know, runners up from the previous World Cup. They finished top of the group, which had the USA, who are now have gone home. So,
eliminated, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was always going to be tough. We played well, though. I mean, I'll be honest. I was surprised at how good we were. We were, as you said earlier, we were our worst enemy at times. We could have finished better. But yeah, the goalkeeper debate, I'm done.
It's going to go on for a while. Desiree Ellis, we've put in a request to see her. She's always been a friend of the show. She's always popped in. We'd love to spend an hour with her just to review the World Cup from, you know, her specs. Let's go to the coach's reactions in the DStv Premiership. Rulani Mokoena on his first match.
I thought we did well today in some moments. Of course, with it being the first game, you still want to work on momentum and cohesion and fluidity. This is not going to come with the first game. You know, for any team and all the teams. But what's important is that while you are still doing that, you still have moments of dominance and control, in which we had today. and that you still win games, because winning games gives you a lot of confidence for the next one. And we know we've got two very difficult games coming up.
That was Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club coach there, Roland Mokoena, after they beat Sekhukhune United by 2-1 in a match where Sekhukhune were playing with 10 men, because my little brother got a red card that he didn't deserve. But we've got a referee here, and I spoke to him. I mean, he was crying. He was really, he was distraught. He was crying. He was not okay, and we need to speak about it.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
No. But if there was VAR, does that still get... Okay, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
You should have walked, man.
No, here, Papa, you walk here, man. Let's go into Jose Ribeiro. His reaction after the Orlando Pirates game. They started off the season on a foot that most Buccaneers aren't happy with, losing to Stellenbosch by a single goal scored by Van Wyk in the 42nd minute.
I don't want to sound arrogant. I mean, it's difficult. Today they were very committed. It's difficult to defend with the level of commitment that Stellenbosch did it tonight. In my opinion, it was excellent. But, and it's not an excuse, trust me, this is football. We don't play basketball. You know, we don't play in nice places. Sometimes the field is like this, and you have to find a way to do it anyway. And the field today, it helps a lot to the team that is defending the lead. We knew that the one who's getting the lead is going to get a big advantage, because you just have to protect a bit the space behind yourself and then look for transitions. They have fantastic players in transitions. Stellenbosch is a good team, and to play here is not easy.
That is a man that wasn't happy with the field that he was playing on even. I think this is something that needs to be a thing of the past in the DStv Premiership, in the elite league that we parade this to be, and we all scream on top of our lungs about it being one of the best leagues in the world. We can't be complaining about conditions of a pitch. This is another man that wasn't happy, complaining as well. This is Gavin Hunt on the logistics of his match.
A home game takes 1 day. Now a home game takes 3 days. You know what I'm saying? You come day before, today, and then tomorrow, you know what I mean? So we're at home, we don't camp and that, we just go straight to the games. So we're the only team that suits us, that suits our mentality. So a home game is a 1 day, here's 3 days. Yeah, it's disappointing, because I see this yesterday the announcement that Chiefs play Sundowns. I mean, it's the biggest crowd you're going to have at Lucas, and we couldn't play, you know. So anyway, I just don't know how these things work, you know.
And then, of course, the last one. And Mazda is going to give us more detail on that there, because I don't understand. It was a home game for SuperSport United. So why would he be then complaining about where he's playing?
Yeah, he would have known before the season started. I mean, the SuperSport have an agreement in place now with the Peter Mokaba Stadium to play their home games there, because they were told the Lucas Moripe Stadium is not available. But I'll dissect it a little bit. I've got a lot more information about the situation, why Sundowns are able to play Chiefs there on Wednesday, and SuperSport were not able to host Richards Bay there over the weekend.
Well, speaking of Richards Bay, we need to get into the story of Richards Bay. We've got two of our analysts here on Podcast Fridays that put them as automatic relegation candidates for this season. The last time Richards Bay won a match in the DStv Premiership, they beat Marumo Gallants 2-0. This was 14th of January of last year, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 14th January of last year.
This year.
Was it this year?
Yeah. Second half of the season.
Second half of the season.
Yes.
Yeah, this year, 14 January.
Yeah.
They've since gone, 14 games without a victory. Kaitana Tembo, of course, he can't be the one to blame for this, because he just came into this, right? I'll give you the exact stats, because ProPilana did send them to me as far as they're concerned.
It looks like the rot is still continuing now.
15 league matches without a win for Richards Bay, 11 losses, 4 draws. Their winless run began on the 22nd of January 2023 against the very same SuperSport United, which, of course, ended 1-1. 15 games. You haven't won a game in the DStv Premiership. That's half a season. That's half a season.
They went into that FIFA break second on the log, and everybody was talking about CAF Champions League, this and that. They almost got relegated.
Well, let's hear what Kaitana Tembo, the new man at the helm, has that to say.
I would have preferred a little bit more time, but we've got to just do what we can, in this situation, and try and fast track, in terms of what we want, what we expect from the players. Hopefully, after Tuesday's game, we got probably another week or two to try and fine tune the team.
And in those 15 games, they haven't scored in 10 of them.
Yo, I'm a tata.
They haven't scored in 10 of them. They were beaten. The last time they scored was 3-2 against Chipa. That was their last time they scored 2 goals. Before that, they had lost to Mamelodi Sundowns. They lost to Golden Arrows. They lost 4 to TS Galaxy, if you remember very well. They just don't score goals. There's nothing going up front as far as they're concerned. Have they signed enough to keep the team afloat?
They have addressed some key concerns though. You know, they've got a centre back in Austin Dube coming back, and they've signed 2 strikers. So maybe on their day they faced a very strong SuperSport United. Let's see what happens in the upcoming fixtures.
Well, they've got coming up next 2 Kaizer derbies in Golden Arrows as well as Amazulu before they face Sundowns. Hopefully that won't be a baptism of fire coming into this league. Let's take a break. When we come back, Mazzola takes over with stories making headlines over the last couple of days. 30 after the hour 6. I'm telling you now, watch out for that winger. Campbell is his surname.
Oof.
Chandra, I think, is his name. Chandra Campbell.
18-year-old.
Developed at SuperSport. He got man of the match.
Yeah, player of the season last year in the reserve league in the DDC.
Unbelievable talent.
I'm not surprised at
Unbelievable talent.
I think they've managed to replace Maseko already.
Yeah.
Gavin Hunt joked that Sundowns will offer 40 million next season for Campbell.
No, he's an unbelievable player. 31 after the hour 6. It's the 3 wise men on a Monday. It's the weekend that was. Mazzola, what do you have?
Yeah, let's go back to that story with Gavin Hunt. Obviously, we played the clip where he's talking about a home game takes 3 days. As surprising as it is that a coach moans about playing away from home when the agreement was in place before the season started that they'd play at Peter Mokaba. Just to give a little bit of context, the Lucas Moripe Stadium was not available because of the pitch condition and floodlights and. Today I was at Klorkop press conference with Coach Rulani Mokoena ahead of their fixture against Chiefs, which was moved from Loftus Versfeld, which is not available until maybe mid-October, to Lucas Moripe, which was also initially not able to host games for the season. But what Mamelodi Sundowns have done, listen to this, Andile, they have taken money out of their own pocket to help the stadium management at Lucas Moripe Stadium to fast track the pitch being available, floodlights, you name it. Sundowns paid for whatever repairs need to take place, whether it's the relaying of the pitch, floodlights, whether it's the change room that needs a fresh coat of paint. Mamelodi Sundowns took the money and said, here you go. If this is going to take you 3 weeks, here's the money for it to take you a week. That's why Lucas Moripe is now available for Wednesday's game against Chiefs.
Yeah, teams are responsible for the field. Even in Guyana,
I thought the municipality was responsible for
some. Because
these are owned by municipality.
that may very well be the case, but that would have taken a longer period for the that would have taken longer. So Mamelodi Sundowns have said we cannot handle a situation where we are playing away from home. We are not next to our fans.
So they paid for it.
So they paid for whatever needs to happen.
Why does Sundowns not have their own stadium?
That's a good question. With all the resources, by now they should actually have their own stadium.
I mean, maybe HMP is too far out the way for most people, but one wonders, to take a young stadium, localized stadium somewhere, spend that same money at their own stadium.
I mean, if they're able to take money of their own coffers to fast track
a stadium that's going to be for everyone,
exactly. Then there definitely is money to be able to have their own home ground.
So Gavin Mazembe has stadium, their own stadium in DRC. So Muisi Katumbi, the owner, and also Mutsepe, they are all mining people. So they should have their own stadium.
Maybe this is what's coming, but apparently the city refused. I know Sundowns did at some point have conversation, and the city refused to sell that particular stadium. Yeah. But there's many grounds that can be turned into stadiums. Komakasi, Pretoria locations. What was it?
Caledonian as well.
Mamelodi. What was the stadium?
It's HMP, yeah.
HMP, Caledonian State
No,
Stadium.
HMP was a bit out, man.
Yeah.
It's right inside Mamelodi.
Was it HMP? Where Sundowns used to play?
Yeah, that's HMP.
I mean, if you see what it looks like now.
Oof, I've seen pictures of what it looks like.
That was my first game in the PSL that I watched, I think. Was it HMP?
Yeah.
So amazing place. It would be lovely to revent. Anyway, yes, what do you have else?
Look, yeah, Gavin Hunt asked for answers. He said I should go investigate. Coach, if you're listening, there's your investigation.
So the coach was wondering why Sundowns can play and he can't play.
Yeah, so
well, there it is. Sundowns paid
for it.
Sundowns paid for it. Unbelievable.
Sticking with Mamelodi Sundowns, there was a question. I did a story over the weekend. It's on savcsport.com about Thabiso Kutumela being the likely player to the next player to likely leave Mamelodi Sundowns. There's interest from AmaZulu and Cape Town City as well. The coach was asked about that article in the press conference this afternoon, and this is what he had to say.
Transfers are very delicate in the sense that it has to be the player, it has to be the club and the interested party. With Kutumela, there is interest, but we have to wait because it has to make sense for, as I said, for the tripartite. You call it, it has to make sense for the player, and the player has to be happy. It has to make sense for the mother club, and the club has to be happy. You have to be patient within that regard, with regards to the transfer of any of the players that are still here.
Signed from Maritzburg. He's now, 30 years old. He didn't see much football the last season. No. So for Kutumela, I'm pretty sure a loan move with Sundowns is still paying you would be the best result for him. Or does he want an outwards out?
Yeah, that's what the coach is referring to here with regards to does the player go out on loan? Excuse me. He's worked with Eric Tinkler before at Orlando Pirates and Maritzburg United, where he was a top goal scorer and club captain. So possibly leaning more towards a move to Cape Town City. We know there's a good relationship between Cape Town City and Mamelodi Sundowns, and that's not necessarily to rule out that AmaZulu could potentially bid more because they are still looking for strikers. Gabadinho Mango, by the way, has also signed for Moroka Swallows. Everybody was talking about Kaizer Chiefs. David Bukhashwa hijacked the deal, and Gaba is now a bid. That's another one of the... Gabadinho Mango
is now signed at Swallows. Moroka Swallows
Football Club is on a 2-year contract.
Joining us, Sekgotha there as well.
Sekgotha's off to Stellies,
Is he off to Stellies?
He's off to Stellies. He's left Chiefs and off to Stellies. Another player that's also going to leave Mamelodi Sundowns in the coming days, Lyle Lakay. Remember, defender of the season, loaned out to Cape Town City. Cape Town City said, we can't afford his wages. He went back to Mamelodi Sundowns. He's on the verge now of moving to Super Sport United.
I think based on squads, you look at what Super Sport have got cooking. You look at what Moroka Swallows have got cooking, and you look at AmaZulu as well. Just based on paper, those are 3 strong contenders.
Yeah,
those are some strong contenders. Wow. Anything else?
Yeah, let's go back to that clip. I think there's a second clip on Coach Jose Ribeiro talking about the state of the pitch at the Danny Craven Stadium. Some will call it excuses or mind games, whatever the case may be. It was the same for both clubs concerned on the day, but the Spanish coach is not a happy camper. We don't have that clip. Okay. No,
we'll try and find the clip.
We'll try and find the clip.
Working hard to get it. But he wasn't happy with the state of the pitch. And this is not conversations we should be having.
No, and we shouldn't. And we are likely to have those conversations this season already because, as I said, Lucas Moripe Stadium, there was a conversation about that. Danny Craven now. We haven't seen the state of the pitches all around. But you're right, Andile. It's not a conversation we should be having.
Yeah, we're a top-tier league.
At elite level.
At the level of what this league is. That's not a conversation we should be having. But here it is now, Coach Ribeiro.
We managed to put the game really far from our opponent due to the rhythm and our capacity to insist. But yeah, there's a risk always when you have to take the initiative every single minute. Very poor field, and they punish us in one situation, in one transition in the first half. And after that, the approach from our opponent was clear, try to protect the lead. They did a very good job in terms of organization, in defense, very generous. It was difficult for us to break that.
Yeah, we're talking about HMPC. Banshapilega WhatsApp. They've sent me a...
Hey, WhatsApp. I'm showing you. I'll finish on WhatsApp. Victor, but no, don't speak about that.
Banshapilega WhatsApp with a video of HMPC Stadium being demolished in February earlier this year. So
I remember that. It was trending.
Yeah, it was trending. So let's see what happens there. Maybe there's a possibility that over the coming
imagine
years,
Mamelodi Sundowns playing in Mamelodi at their own stadium. They're training. There's the facilities that they've gone every single day. That's how you grow a community around a team. That's what the English teams have done. Well, all the European teams, really. Even in Brazil. Took a trip to Brazil with some boys, and it's such a local thing, you know, to see those people drive in and drive out every day, see them in front of you. It's hard not to want to be a part of something like that. It would be lovely to see a team in South Africa that is able to do something like that.
Yeah, Andile, there's a lot more. We'll take it on TV to Soccer Zone later tonight. But yeah, the transfer window, by the way, closes on the 22nd of September.
So there's still time.
Not the 31st of August. So there's still time. Clubs, give or take, after 5 or 10 games, they'll know what they need.
And they'll still have time to sign by then.
They'll still have time to sign, yeah.
It's 18:40. We could take a break in the last 5 minutes before we take your calls. We give it to the man we call the principal. He's even wearing his calf. King.
CAF, Confederation of African Football.
Yeah, Mara, what is that thing you're wearing?
No, when you are a match official, they give you this small
what
badge.
is that?
It's a small logo, so that when
so a bit logo.
When they call it, they say CAF officials.
Okay, there we go. CAF official is going to talk to us, and of course you can do so as well on 086-000-2160. I see all the WhatsApps are in on 060-552-7303. It's the always, not always so wise men. It's 18:41 on the mighty Metro FM. Tavik, the principal, one-third
content
of the wise men. He's got plenty of content. I want to start with the one. My little brother,
he had to walk,
who has just been given a jersey number 10 because of the amazing season he had last season. He was rewarded at Skukune with the number 10. Had a good game, started so well. Then he got a straight red.
15 minutes to Ncube. Got a red card for Ncube. Yeah.
No, Ncube.
Yeah, Ncube. Hey,
yes, he got a red card.
For serious foul play. He was challenged fairly so by Mudau. And he was challenged.
That wasn't fair.
Some say it was a push. Push is with hands. With the body, we don't call it push in football. Pushing is with hands. There's no hands used. It's a challenge.
But the ref should have blown there. It shouldn't have gotten to what he did.
Was that challenge fair or unfair? That's the question we need to ask.
Okay.
Now the player Mudau uses his leg.
Let me move away from the mic because I'm interrupting you.
Mudau uses his leg to challenge for the ball. He made contact with Vusi. After making contact with Vusi, I don't know how the Ncubes falls on the field of play. They fall with their legs up as if they are doing karate on the field. And unfortunately, they landed in a wrong place where they landed on the shin guard of another player with straight leg. So that is serious foul play. We understand that Ncube did not mean to.
He was not in control.
Exactly. But then, no, you can't say he was not in control. It's his body. But if it lands in the wrong place, your body lands in the wrong place, the refs will look at...
Does his leg not roll over the ball when he falls?
No, what we look is, did he make contact with an opponent? Was it straight leg? Which part of the body starts, which is dangerous? So now when you make contact with the leg like that, with straight leg, with starts, it scores to serious foul play. So the player should walk. All FIFA material, they indicate that if someone plays like that, a red card should be issued. So correct decision by Skhumbuzo Gaza for starting a season on a high note by giving 2 red cards. There's Rivaldo as well, who retaliated after a whistle has been blown. This is violent conduct. If you do a retaliation, especially with a leg, chances are you'll get a red card. If you do a retaliation with a hand, sometimes they can say when you strike an opponent and the force is negligible, you might go away with a yellow. But with a leg, 90% of those we are harmed is violent conduct, is red card, is clear on the loss of the game. We also saw some simulation by Uzwane. Uzwane ya dive abafowethu.
Which Zwane?
Temba Zwane. Uthole yellow card for diving inside the penalty area. One day he got a penalty against Arrows for same diving, which was wrong. But this time Ugaza ate carrots. Wampampa nge yellow card, wampampa nge simulation. Ngati how Gaza. You know, those used to be my game when we start the season. I used to start those games.
No, Zwane is not a diver. Zwane
guy too. I'm telling you, Arrows and Sundowns. One day he got a penalty for diving. Ngamlanda ngithi Zwane bona. Why tall? So this time, Maka diver.
No, man, Zwane is a fair player.
I will give you even the minute. Go and check the 76-minute simulation by Zwane.
He was swimming.
He was swimming. I'm double. And I'll give you the other one because I know him. So this time, I'm not. The other one we need to talk about, it's usayile man usayile bamkhathelile this weekend man kunenye intwana labathi Azola Ncabo ngithi umzukulu wakaMazola bathi Azola Ncabo hele 2 minutes idabula usayile yellow card was supposed to come out ujila ngamnikanga athi hayi tranquil calm down. Now when the 53 minute ashaya any reckless challenge ngithi Morgan umtholaphi lo mfana lo uzokhathela abantu angakhathela ibhola. And then the last one we saw Justice Chabalala. He kicked somebody there, kicked Saile. Without the boot. The boot went out as he was running. You know, Saile is very fast. Maka gijimi so Saile, a boot ya puma. Now I'm gijimi sanga na you boot. And then he had to tackle without the boot. I'm tackle without the boot. Now, what does the law says when a player plays without a boot? Let's go to the law and code. A player whose footwear or shin guard is lost accidentally must replace it as soon as possible and no later than when the ball next goes out of play. If before doing so the player plays the ball or scores a goal, the goal will be awarded. So now in this case, it is compulsory for a player to have a footwear. But if it goes out accidentally, a player is allowed to can continue playing without the shin guard or without the footwear. So it's an educational element because I saw one referee in Mapopane blowing and giving an indirect free kick against the player who's accidentally the foot went out or the boot went out. What free kick? Not angana boot, but it's compulsory for him to wear a boot. So siyafundisa la ku Metro FM kuthi no, my puma a boot. Play on until when the ball goes out, and then the player can be instructed.
We'll show you these things he's talking about live on Soccer Zone this evening. I will have a better case for my brother then, because visually I'll be able to show that should not have been a red card. Let's take a break. When we come back, we take all your calls and voice notes.
WhatsApp the Metro FM studio 060-552-7303.
Andile umandla lakhe la eDeep Slot. Andile iqiniso masidlala neSweden number 3 in the world. Sibonakalisile ukuthi siyakhona ukudlala, silethwe down ucoach aka change against iArgentina, ucoach osilethe down before bekora ama goal lawana ngibone befaka 3 players, ucoach aka change ufaka unomvula kuphela yena oqedile, bakhona nokumatlo to protect the lead. Uzukhumbuze nje mayifikile lapho okunye nje ngabanikeza ihero status njengoba bebethukwa nabomonde leingane lezi. Okunye ke nama injuries, ufifi ungabikho kwakhe, creativity, ukulimala kwa key player ubambanani mbane, ukulimala ka Soposingwe kusibulele kakhulu. Otherwise bona badlalile but I'm not available kule ya hero what kodwa ke ngabanikeza.
Hey, my brother, this is Zulinda from Durban. I was watching the Kaizer Chiefs game. Those guys can't even keep the ball for like 2 minutes on their feet. No wonder Hans was laughing when you appointed the new coach. So I don't see Chiefs going any further this season. I'm just disappointed, man. I'm very disappointed in these guys.
Good evening, Ma'a, and Pulsa Yongi team, as a studio. Ma'a, get an abuile performer up in Quebec. Ma'a, the chance of Jonga, take by season if fully away DStv Premiership. Jonga Makela, Indlela, assigning us the players. Let DStv early season 2023-2024. Ingadizabandima eyes bakolula in a team ezoyithatha ayizuhamba lula, otherwise kuzawusetyenzwa kule season. Danko ma labegqebere
enkosi.
Good evening, gents. The weekend that was. Mina quick question nama manje ukuthi Arsenal ishaya Man City, so yeka ngathi like it didn't happen, like are we gonna just speed past that one? We're not gonna address it.
Who cares with the trophy? But we'll go into it, guys. Manchester City, of course, beaten by Arsenal this weekend, and whenever there's Arsenal involved, I think my name will always come up because of last season. I still don't think they're going to win the league. I still don't think they're going to be anywhere near the winners of the league. But congratulations to Arsenal for yesterday winning the Community Shield. It ended 1-1 and then went through to penalties. And it was in the penalties that they were able to win by 4-1. A brilliant victory for Arsenal there. You got Kevin De Bruyne not scoring. I think Silva was the only one that scored. And then Rodri took it and he didn't score either. Odegaard, Trossard, Saka and Vieira all scoring for Arsenal. So congratulations to them.
Hi, Andile. Tokozo from Meatbank here. Those girls deserve a round of applause, and heroes will come. Besides that, it was a tough group, but they managed to pull through, and they should have won those games. They deserve a heroes will come. Some of them, I don't see them playing in Hollywood Best Super League. They will go to Europe.
Makosaka nyandeni lokhuluma kwanongoma kwabo. Lo yamdlalo super sport hayi. Umdlalo uyadlala kunje kubhlungu ukuthi ngoba vele ngesizini elandelayo uyahamba ya Sundowns. Ukhushulelwa yona vele. Bese ngiza lapha kwiqembu lami Kaizer Chiefs. Yes iyadlala kodwa ayisene inkinga phambili samele ba-ede lapha phambili. Yes ibaseline isolid iMcLeod uyayibona ukuthi iyahlangana. Hayi asinamuntu phambili samele ihlanganiswe. Angibonge kodwa Richards Bay. Hayi ayinamqeqeshi kwayona iyaphansi ifuna umuntu osemdala phana osene experience ecoaching uzokwazi ukuyakha ibuild. Angibonge makhosi ngendlela okhuluma nongoma ngabo.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of reports here, and as you know, with the guy that's in studio, until he knows it firsthand, he won't report it. So I'll have to do this. There's a lot of reports online about Kaizer Chiefs having secured a new Colombian striker. I can't say this name to save my life.
Yeah, obviously I also saw it. There's a Twitter handle that I think it's a journalist or a club official. I'm not sure. Jamie Vega. He's reporting that. I also can't say the name. I think it's pronounced Jason Gonzalez. He signed
can't
from
be Jason when it starts with an EFMMA.
No. I mean, I've went and looked online for. I mean, South Americans can have.
They abbreviated it.
They abbreviated.
So Jason Gonzalez, he's from Real Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. There's agreed terms with Kaizer Chiefs for a loan deal for the striker, pending which obviously if he does well, maybe signed on a permanent deal. But that's what's coming out from reports elsewhere. I had not been aware of this, but what I did know is that obviously Chiefs, as had been admitted by Bobby Mutaung, that they were looking for a forward.
All right, let's take your calls now. We'll start off with Peter. Peter starting in Brits. Peter wants to talk about the DStv Premiership. The weekend that was, Peter.
Oh, the weekend that was, how you doing?
I know, easy, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Sometimes in football, you can't win your matches. You'll end up being in a bad situation. Look at Sundowns. They started well. Look at the Soweto Giants. 1 drew, 1 lost. I want to get into Orlando Pirates. I don't know what's happening with the coach. I mean, remember the time when we beat Skukune at Gloucester Stadium? Where is that first 11? You have to use that first 11. Don't be. You can't say because you saw Maswangani doing well at the pre-water season. And then maybe even Makaring. Now look at what's happening. You don't have a Lodge in your squad. I don't know. You don't have a Kenny in your squad. You don't have a team in your squad. The team that beats Kukun, you only have a Zukaman who left to Super Sport. Why can't you keep that first 11? You were supposed to keep that first 11. He's there, but he didn't even included in the CAF Champions League. So, but here is in the first 11. I don't know what.
I get the worry from Orlando Pirates faithfuls, because whenever Lodge is in, he's the most influential. The stats still stand. When Lodge scores, Pirates don't lose. So he's a very influential player in that team. The fact that he's not always available due to injuries, and now Kermit as well, that's a big thing for Orlando Pirates faithfuls. Thank you so much, Peter. I appreciate that one. Yeah, let's go to Rustenburg. He wants to talk about Chiefs and the referees. It's Sinong.
The weekend that was.
Yeah, the weekend that was, my brother.
North London forever. Whatever the weather. The streets are our own. Arsenal made man. London is red.
Community shield. Community shield.
London is red, Mazola. It's not blue. The community seat in London.
Are you serious? What have you like a community shield?
I just beat the whole team in the world. And then on the referee side, I think Davigo Batari Gogol, man. That red card icon.
Effing you.
Yes, Kukuni.
Yeah, Ncube, ne? Oh, Sinong, what a time to go. Sinong. Let's go to, who do we have? Sbongeleni out in KZN. Sbo.
Unjan ma.
Ngena kyo.
Get fresh. The weekend it was ma. Yeah, I will start here from KZN. I was very disappointed with the performance here, Lokuzani, Yamazulu, Royal Mugleke, maybe say Kwala. But I think it's still too early for both teams. I think some players are rusty. Some and some coaches are still trying to get different combinations, you know. But let's hope they will bring a better performance in the coming games. And then coming to Ikemezo, Chiefs, Chief United. I think coach Umole Fentegi is still trying to get his combinations also. But I think at the back, he's very solid. I watched Msimango together with Tiklokwe. They are marvelous to watch. I think the only problem for him is the creative midfielder and the striker.
I heard a lot of people speaking about him this weekend.
Tanzania or Shabalala. Shabalala is a very exciting youngster, but I think he has still got a room for improvement.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then lastly, let me recommend these two gentlemen, please.
I'm listening.
What entertainment they bring to the field of play.
Benze Bugwai.
And
in the stands there. I mean, we bumped into him over the weekend 2 weeks ago when we were doing the games in Ulundi, and I agree. Let's go to Kolisa. Kolisa's in Townview. Oh, Kolisa's gone there. Lunga's in Roodepoort, wants to speak about Chiefs and Arsenal. 17th Community Shield won by Arsenal, and no one cares, Lunga. No one cares, Lunga.
We don't care, Lunga. We don't care.
What do you want, Lunga? Stop boring us about Community Shield, Papa.
Hey, weekend at work, guys. Good evening.
Hey, man.
The last time I wanted to say congratulations to Mazola for the award, and in a check young Zelumo and Nala Mafu in a portal sometimes. Yeah. So Arsenal this year we must win. I don't think the Charity Cup or in but we need to win something this season. And then as for Chiefs, in the we are gonna score sometimes, not always. Sometimes it's very vital. In Jessica Mtaung, she's the best marketing manager or manager or CEO in marketing Konalapangas. But she's the only hope that we have because she's in Spanish. The rest, no, the way I represent her club.
Oh no,
the marketing
she's a good face of the brand.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mara in the pitch, no, like in not this year. She's won't win anything. We still many political party and you mentioned I'm saying that's both.
Lunga is out here. Can't wait. It's a minute after the hour 7. Jimmy, very quickly, you have 10 seconds. After 8
bona ke ba extend 120 minutes she's in a school le ka pre-season a rakora feel Mazola
so Jimmy
after it is le na bafana di tlo bola isa go intlung ena la Mazola ga rena le bana bana ya tlhokomela di after it bana
he's out of here. Jimmy Macau le para la mapara. It's a minute after the hour 7 about to go to. Thank you so much to the lights, camera, action crew that make sure that you get to catch us live on Facebook, and of course the entire team. Timmy, hola para Joe pela